You don't become what you want, you become what you repeatedly think about. Have you ever been driving down the road replaying a conversation that you had 3 days ago in your mind? Maybe someone offended you. Maybe someone criticized you. By the time you get to work, you've had that argument 20 more times in your head. Who is in control of your thoughts? Most people would answer, I am. Then why do we let them run wild? The thing about our thoughts is that it doesn't just happen to you. I love what Tony Robbins says. He says that you don't experience life, you experience the life that you focus on. So actually, your thoughts are what you are allowing to happen in your mind that you're focusing on. That person in the car that cut you off in traffic, that for the next 3 minutes, you're angry, calling them names and allowing the emotions to overtake you. And then you go to work and you relive the same story and tell people at work about what happened during that person cutting you off in traffic and how you almost had a car accident. And maybe you go home and you tell your husband the story. You are reliving that experience. You are allowing yourself to continue to live in that moment of fear, stress, anxiety, anger, whatever it was, because you are reliving it over and over again. And here's how it works. You have thoughts. Those thoughts are what drive you to have certain behaviors. Your behaviors are what drive your choices, and your choices are what become your experiences. And in those experiences that you're having, you have emotions. So you experience somebody cutting you off in traffic, so you feel anxiety or anger, and then you start having the thoughts that match those emotions. And the thing about it is that it all starts in your mind. Every bit of it is you allowing yourself to have these thoughts that I call it the thought loop, that is behavior, choices, experiences, emotions, and then drives your thoughts. It all begins from where you decide you're going to live your day. And the truth is that people that are successful, they don't wake up one day and just become successful. They're actually incredibly intentional with how they live their life and how they experience life. I will tell you this. Yesterday morning, I woke up and I got in my car and I looked around and I thought, man, did my husband get in my car, start looking for something? Because everything was just thrown about and really, really messy. And then it dawned on me, oh, someone broke into my car. Someone broke into my car yesterday. They broke in and they stole some pretty valuable and expensive things. I keep a hiking backpack in there. And I was pretty disappointed when I found out that they had broken into my car. And they must have used some sort of lock shimmying because the only door that was unlocked was the front door. Back doors and all the other doors were locked. So obviously they are professionals at it. But what I immediately thought when I was looking around and trying to figure out what all they took was, man, I'm really grateful that they didn't break the window to get in. And think about what it took to get to that space, to be able to have that mind frame, to not go, woe is me, and man, I'm so angry, and those jerks. For my brain to automatically think of gratitude, it took me being intentional all the time. Whenever bad things happen in my life, I just try to look for the good. I look for, what am I grateful for? What are the things that are going to be used in the situation? Because everything is used in our life. And if we allow it, it's used for good. And I love that. I think that's fantastic because there's bad things that happen all the time. As a matter of fact, if I listed them off every single day in a journal, all the bad things that happened to me, I would really find myself pretty miserable. But instead, I list off the things that I'm grateful for. I live in this space of gratitude because I know that something good is going to come out of no matter what happens. And I read this book, I think it's called The Millionaire Mindset. And he said the author, Brian Tracy, studied all of these people that were very successful in life. I think it was 100 different people, and they had one thing in common. Every single one of them, financially successful in all kinds of things that they did and all these experiences in their life. And they all had this one thing in common. And that one thing in common was that they liked themselves. Think about that. They genuinely liked themselves. What does it take to genuinely like yourself? Think about your thoughts. Write them down. Listen to yourself. Say the words out loud. What do you say to yourself when you make a mistake? What do you say to yourself when you have an argument with somebody? What do you say to yourself when you see someone else have something that you want? They're successful in an area that you want to be successful. They get praised for something that you want to be good at. How do you respond? What do you say to yourself in your brain? And how are you talking to yourself? I've said this before, but one day I had left work. I was on my way to go pick up something from the store. And I had just had a confrontation with an employee, and I was beating myself up on my way to the store. And I was having this conversation, and I didn't even realize that I was having the conversation. I was just driving. And all of a sudden, I realized what I was saying. And for whatever reason, I decided to say the words out loud. The things that I was saying to myself, I was going to express them out loud. I started saying them out loud, and I automatically decided, you know what? I'm not going to accept that. I'm going to replace those words with something positive. So I would say, "You're so stupid, Kimberly." And I would go, "No, we're going to replace that. I'm not stupid. I'm learning every day." And when I look backwards, man, I have come a long ways. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I am going to get there. And every day I'm getting better and better. Every time I said something that was horrible and that tore me down, I would replace it with something positive. And then, you know what? I apologize to myself for being the big bully that I am, because I would never talk to my daughter that way. Why would I talk to myself that way? I would never talk to my best friend that way. I should be my best friend. You should be your own best friend. There's no one in the world that knows you better than yourself. You should be praising yourself. You should be looking for gratitude. You should be thoughtful in ways that only you can be for you. There's this Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, Marcus Aurelius. And think about this, a Roman guy way back 2,000 years ago. And he was writing the battles that we have in our mind. And this is what he said. Nearly 2,000 years ago, he wrote down, "You have the power over your mind, not outside events." Think about that. Someone 2,000 years ago was having a battle in his mind, realizing that all of us are struggling with the way that we think. And that is still true today. Our brains are the same as they were 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years ago, people felt inadequate. They felt like they weren't enough. They felt like they weren't smart enough. It is incredible to me and fascinating that this has been a life journey for so many people, and that when you figure it out, when you finally understand and the light bulb kicks in, that the way that you treat yourself is going to be a direct reflection to how successful you will be in your life. I love that. I think it's absolutely cool. And I think it's so awesome to figure out that we have the same human brain that Marcus did 2,000 years ago. And he figured it out, that you get to control what is in your mind, not what is on the outside. So I was listening to Russell Brunson, and I really like how he uses analogies to help you understand things. And he's talking about the brain and how when you do something over and over again, it sort of creates these ruts, these paths that they're really well drawn, really well ingrained pathways in your brain. And it's like a tractor in a farm. It drives the same way every single day, and it creates these ruts in the mud. And now the tractor, these big tires, they go through these ruts and they stay on that path, and they always go the same direction. And then you decide you want to get off of that path, and you're stuck in these ruts, and your big giant tires are trying to get out of the ruts, and they're trying to get out of the ruts, and they keep getting sucked back in, and they're trying to get out of the ruts, and they keep getting sucked back in. And here's the deal. Your brain is going to do that to you too. When you decide, I'm not going to be this person anymore. I want to be different. I want to be kinder. I want to be, give myself more grace. I want to be grateful. I want to live a life of gratitude. I want to be successful. I want to be this person that I can see, and I want to change the way that I think. And just remember, it's going to be difficult to get those tires out of those ruts, but not impossible. And sometimes your brain is going to want to go back into those ruts because it feels comfortable. It feels safe. This is who I am. This is who I was programmed to be. This is just how I am. Your body's going to tell you that. But the truth is that you don't have to stay there. You can create a new path. It doesn't have to be that way. And it just takes time. It just takes this intention of, I'm going to do this differently, of reminding yourself, of replacing those thoughts. Those thoughts are going to come, but you don't have to keep them. They don't have to stay in your brain. You don't have to accept this is my reality. You can say, you know what? That isn't true. I'm going to replace it. And the truth of the matter is that I'm getting better every single day. Most of you know my story. I started out pretty early having difficulty at an addict parent, and at 11 years old, I was kicked out of my house and I was homeless. I've been through the foster system. I was in shelters, abandoned houses. I've done all kinds of things to survive. And when I was 16, I got my own apartment. And in that process, I felt pretty sorry for myself. I definitely probably deserved to feel sorry for myself because of the situation that I was put in. But one day I was thinking about how miserable I was and how sorry I was for myself. And I just decided that I didn't like it. I don't like being that person. I didn't like feeling like that. I didn't want to be this person that was paralyzed by the life that was chosen for her. And so I decided that I wanted to be different. That's when I started reading books. And I have probably hundreds of books that I've read that have helped me have a new perspective and helped me to see the world differently and helped me to just be a different person. But it started with this. It started with I realized that I didn't want to be the victim anymore. I just realized I didn't want to be miserable anymore. And I knew people didn't really like being around people that were miserable. I was kind of one of those people that was taking from people around me instead of giving to the people around me. And have you ever met somebody that you just thought, man, this person they have a light in them. And I just want to be around that more. And that's what I wanted to become. I wanted to be that kind of person, not the person that when you walk in the room, everybody turns their head and tries to pretend like they're busy. Right. And that's who I was. And I was like, I don't want to be this person anymore. I want to be different. And so I started reading books that helped me to see it differently. And here's the thing that I've learned after all of the learning and the changing and the growing. It's really quite simple for you to change. It starts by you taking your thoughts captive, realizing that, you know what? I think this way, but I don't have to hang on to it. And I'm going to replace it with something good. And then it goes to, I'm going to keep my focus on what is good. I'm going to focus on things that are not of this world, things that are good and pure and that bless me in ways that um, nothing else could. And the gratitude, man, keeping your mind in gratitude, it takes intention. It's easy to go into negative. It takes intention to be grateful. But when I'm grateful, I don't focus on the negative. So my brain, when I start to focus on gratitude and I always do gratitude and something bad happens and I remind myself always do gratitude and then something else bad happens and I kind of go to the negative and then I go, oh, no, no, remember, we're going to be grateful. Then when bad things happen, I have now programmed my brain to always go to gratitude, to always see how is this going to be good for me? And that is what has happened over all of these years of practice. And the books, they helped me because they helped me to see a new perspective. Like when I read that book about all these successful people and how they like themselves, I sat back and I thought, do I like myself? And so I went home and I wrote it on my mirror. I wrote, I like myself. Not because I want to be arrogant, not because I think I'm somebody fantastic. Trust me, there's plenty of keyboard warriors that tell me on a regular how I'm not, just to keep me, keep my ego down, which I think is fine. And I laugh at it because I also one day read a book that helped me to understand criticism better so that it didn't hurt me. And basically, I asked myself these two questions. Are they trying to hurt me or are they trying to help me? And I'm going to learn from it. And I am always grateful no matter what. Even if they're trying to hurt me, I think to myself, you know what? I'm glad that I'm the person that you said it to and not somebody that's going to be completely crushed by what you said because I can take it. And I think it's fascinating to look at Kimberly 30 years ago versus Kimberly today. And I can tell you success has clues. I changed my perspective by looking at gratitude. I read books that help me to ask myself questions. What am I thinking about? What am I telling myself? What am I believing? And then I choose to be who I want to be. I make the decisions. Do you know today is 425 days of working out every day? Every single day I go to the gym and I work out. I haven't taken a single day off. It didn't matter what happened in my life. I did not take a single day off. And you know what's awesome about that is when I wake up in the morning, I don't even think about it. I just go get my workout in. My thought is, what am I going to do today so I can get my workout in? And if somebody asks me, when are you going to stop? I don't think I ever will. I think I'd probably be disappointed if I missed a day. I mean, it would happen, but exercise is so good for you. And it is such a huge part of my journey of becoming who I want to be because it allowed me to prove to myself that I can do what I say that I do. And I'm super grateful and I can't tell you enough about it. And has everything to do with the fact that I decided to change the way that I think. Because when I wasn't exercising every day, I was thinking about why I shouldn't. I was thinking of all the excuses that I had of why today I could miss. And I don't do that anymore. So today, I want you to think about this. I want you to ask yourself, what am I thinking about right now? All the time, all day long. I want you to say, what am I thinking about right now? What am I saying to myself? What am I believing that is true? And then if it's not good, rewrite it. Because you don't have to stay that person. You don't have to let your thoughts control your life. And they will, because your thoughts, they will become your behaviors. And your behaviors will become your choices. And your choices will dictate the experiences that you have in this life. And the experiences that you are having, that will cause you to have emotions that will then drive your thoughts. You can stop your thoughts. You can make yourself think better things. You can focus on gratitude and you can choose to be this person right now, today. You don't have to wait 30 years. You don't have to read 300 books. You just need a shift and a change in perspective. I do have amazing books on my website that have changed the way that I think. And if you ever wanted to check out some of the things that I love, the books that I recommend that people read, go to KimberlyFischer.com and you can see some of the really, really amazing authors that helped me become the person that I am today. Thank you for listening. I hope this has helped you. I hope that you really think about what you're thinking about, because I tell you what, that changes everything and it can change today.